Hi, now we will be discussing what are optimize, Z-order and vacuum operation related to delta tables. We will understand these in deep using a demo. We will also see underlying files what all are created and when we perform all these operations. So what exactly happens at a file level. So let's get started. I will start by creating a sample table here. So this is the table I'm creating, and in this one initially I'm just writing 3 records, nothing else. So this is the data we are writing, ID, name and age. This is a very small data, and because we are using free addition, so we will not be able to directly check out the files which are there because we can't see the location of the table. So what I will do is this same data I will write it into my own location so that we can understand underlying this table or underlying this delta table or location what all files are created so that we can understand those operation in more detail. So now this data it is written to this location. If I read it, it will show this exactly same data here as we can see. Now let's go to this location and first check out what kind of files are there. Here is the location that I had specified. If we go inside this particular location, so here we can see that currently there is only a single file, single Parquet file which contain those 3 records, and then inside this delta log we will see the delta log file as a JSON and the checksum file along with some intermediate commits. But currently we are interested these data files here, and as we can see currently it is one file and size is also very small. And now let me uh, write some more files. Let's say if I write couple of more times the same data as append mode. So I have run it 5 or 6 times now, and if I refresh this location, so here we can say every time it has created a new file and all are very small. So when it comes to big data processing and Spark, working with Spark, so Spark when it has to process very small number of files, then Spark becomes slow. So Spark is very efficient when the files are like around the size 128 MB. That is the standard size it takes as partition data. So if we have so many small files, then the performance of reading all this data and applying any filter or whatever operation we are doing, it will be very slow. So the good option or good solution to this, it will be combining these small files into one or more bigger file. Like if the data is more than 128, then it will create multiple, but the idea it is combining small files into bigger files so that processing is fast. So to do that operation, that is where this optimize comes into picture. So to combine small files into bigger files around the size 128 MB, that is what optimize does. So running this single command, it does the same thing. So it has run on this particular path, and in the matrix we can see now that it has added one file and it has removed 6 files. So what it means is those 6 small files it has deleted and only latest one file it has combined. That is what it has done. So if we refresh this, here we can see that it has created this one bigger file couple of seconds ago, and where it has combined the data from other files. So the size it is like slightly more because uh, our current number of records are less only, but these other 6 files are combined inside this one. And why we see the other files still here even though it mentioned they are deleted, that is the property of delta log. It is maintaining history, but whenever we will query the latest version of data, it will always fetch it from this particular entry. So this is how the optimize operation works. And this optimize command, we can run it on any location where the delta is stored as a delta table in the delta format, or we can directly run it on table also. It will do the exact same thing. And along with optimize, optionally we can provide a Z order as well. And what this Z order does is, So whenever it is doing that optimize operation, so in case if we have data in millions or billions and there are so many files, so whatever column we specify along with z order by, then that column, so in this case let's say whatever id, for whatever id the values are similar, those similar values it will keep within same files. So that is how, like, when we will later on fetch the data using IDs, that way it will be very efficient, because while fetching the data it will already know that these file contain the data for these IDs, these file contain the data for these IDs. So to group, or let's say to combine similar IDs together, that is where we use this z order by column. And this operation, it adds some computation on top of optimize, because it will have to combine similar IDs whenever we are running it. So we have to use it carefully, and in this in place of ID or whatever column we are specifying, that column has to be very important when we are reading the data. If users are frequently using it, then only we shall specify it. Otherwise using without z order, that is also it also provide very good performance improvement. And along with z order we can even provide multiple comma separated values also, in case we want to z order by multiple columns. So that is what also supported. So then the next thing comes is the vacuum. So what vacuum does is, so by default delta's property, it is that time travel is there, it will keep storing the historical data, keep storing the historical logs, everything. By default it will not delete anything. So in case if we are getting so many updates and deletes, so after some time we will want to clean up the things. So that is where the vacuum comes into picture. So if we run vacuum on any particular table or any particular location, then what it will do is it will clean up the data which is older than the specified value. So the default value is like 7 days. So there are two things when it comes to the values related to deletion. One is log retention duration. So it is about the logs of the delta table, like the logs which are there in this underscore delta log folder. So historical log for how much duration we want to keep it. By default it is 30 days. And second is like deleted file retention duration. So for example, in this table if I do insert overwrite, so all the files will be marked as deleted. Those will still be there for the time travel. So but in the latest version these are deleted. So in case if we think that some older data we don't need and that can be cleaned up, so for this actual data this retention duration works, and its default value it is 7 days. So by default delta will not delete anything, so it will keep everything. But if we run this vacuum command, then what it will do is whatever is older than the this configured values, or by default these values, so whatever is older than, let's say, 7 days, those files, if those are marked as deleted, then it will permanently delete those. Similarly, if there are some logs which are older than 30 days, so those also it will delete when we run this vacuum command. And whenever we are doing this vacuum command, so we optionally get this dry run option as well. So let's say if I do this thing, so here I have another table, because this table I have created just now, and running vacuum will not do anything at all. So if I run on this older table that I had created, so it provide an option of dry run. Dry run means it will just it will just analyze what all can be deleted. It will show that as a list, but it will not actually delete it. And so here we can see that there are many things which are there, but this seems to be a bug in this latest databricks, so it is not showing it. but actually it has 42 files which can be deleted internally. So due to that bug, it is not showing. So if I right now it has not deleted anything, but if I remove this part and simply just run it, this actual process, then we will see like what actually it is doing. So now the vacuum operation is complete, and again due to like that bug, it is not exactly showing what it has done, but it has cleaned up all the things which are older than this duration. And there can be scenarios like sometimes we let's say we may want to clean up everything like which is older than the latest version. So that is where we get another option which is like retain 0 hours. So if I run this, so what it will do is whatever is older than, let's say, that latest time, so that is what it will mark as deleted. So but this option by default we cannot set it up to 0 due to security reason, because they don't want to delete the historical loads. So that's why they want us to be more careful. So to actually do this delete anything older than 0 hours, means anything older than right now, there is another property we need to set first, because by default it is checking that user is not deleting older than 7 days. So if we want to delete anything, let's say, newer than 7 days, then we need to set this property first, this Spark Databricks delta dot retention duration check, whether this check is enabled or not. By default it is enabled, so we cannot run anything with 0 hours. If we set it to false, then we can run it with 0 hours. And this part currently it is not supported here because I am using the free edition and I am using the serverless compute. Once we use the all purpose or job compute, then we can set it up and we can use it. So first we need to set it up as false, then we need to run put it here retain 0 hours. If we do this, then it will delete everything that is older than right now. And when we say delete, again keep in mind that it will only delete the files which are marked for deletion. Let's say if I have inserted the data into table today, then I have not done any operation for 30 days. So that data is valid data for table. So even if we run vacuum, it will not be deleted. But whenever we have run some delete operation or some update operation, so that internally it has deleted, or if we have run vacuum command, optimize command like we had done here, so these are marked as deleted. Only the data which is not used for the latest version of the table, those files will be deleted when we run vacuum. And in this case also, again, dry run is optional. We can use it or not use it. That is up to us. So yes, these are all the options we get with vacuum. I hope you got pretty much good idea now what all options are there and how we shall use it. So depending on our own need and our scenario, we can use any of these operations and do optimize and vacuum. And in latest Databricks versions, now what they are doing is instead of users doing these vacuum and optimize commands, they themselves check proactively how is the user's usage of those tables, and they automatically also they run these vacuum and optimize commands at backend only. So sometimes when do describe history on table, we see that automatically there are some optimize or vacuum commands run. So that is what Databricks is doing by default by themselves. So that is what is also happening, but that is only for the latest version of Databricks runtime and newer workspaces. For older, still we need to create these run these manually or write a job to run these manually. So that is what all I wanted to explain here. Thank you. Bye bye.